to ask any question, you can ask, but not in the between of the class. Okay. Now we will start our this thing, heredity. I will be presenting my screen. So I hope my screen is visible to you, all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So the chapter
Yes,
is
ma'am.
heredity and evolution.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Evolution has been deleted from your syllabus for this year. So only heredity part we will be doing. As we have already discussed, what is heredity? Can anybody tell what is heredity?
The characters and the traits
Hmm.
passed from parents to the offspring is known as heredity.
Very nice. Anybody else can reply? Any girl? Any girl who want to reply? What is heredity? Oh,
Ma'am, मैं बता
हाँ बोलो बेटा.
heredity is a phenomena of transfer of characters from parents to offspring.
Very nice. So it is the characters, and I have told you one other word which we can use in place of characters. What is it?
Traits.
Traits.
And traits.
Great. Very nice. Okay, heredity means the transmission of features, characters, or traits from one generation to the next generation. So it is known as the heredity. And then variation also comes. Variation, it is also there. It is also the part of this thing, heredity only. What does it
मैम
mean?
मैं बताऊं
हाँ बताओ.
the difference between the
Ma'am,
characters and the traits of parents and the offspring is known as variations. There
Very,
are two type of variation, somatic and genetic.
very nice. Anybody else? Variation means what?
yes.
हाँ बताओ बेटा. What does it mean? Variation.
The differences in the DNA sequences among the every organism leading to the diverse gene pool is called the genetic variation.
वेरी गुड. वेरिएशन मीन्स कुछ चेंज आना. पेरेंट्स से जब ऑफस्प्रिंग्स में जब करेक्टर्स जो होते हैं वो ट्रांसफर होते हैं तो उनके डीएनए के स्ट्रैंड्स में कुछ चेंज आ जाते हैं जिसकी वजह से वन न्यू करेक्टर और वन न्यू ट्रेट इज प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द ऑफस्प्रिंग. मतलब कुछ चेंज हो गया, जैसे आई कलर चेंज हो गया, हेयर का टेक्सचर चेंज हो गया. तो समथिंग इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स टू ऑफस्प्रिंग. दैट इज द वेरिएशन. And the combination study of heredity and variation means genetics.
Genetics.
मतलब हाँ, it is the branch genetics. It is the branch of science that deals with heredity and variation. तो genetics मतलब आपका study of heredity and variation. It means genetics. ठीक है. So now we will be talking about some terms which will be regarding related to this chapter. That is first of all genotype and phenotype. So genotype means genes के type, genotype and phenotype. So genotype means the complete set of genes in an organism. Genome is called genotype. Means complete set. If we are showing that a tall plant is there and a dwarf plant is there, so maximum जो alleles उसके form हो सकते हैं, what are those uh, genotypes will be formed with those characters. Like tall and dwarf is there. So tall के लिए, as you know, dominant character है. So we will represent with the alphabet in the capital letters, dominant characters. And recessive is जो resist कर जाते हैं, they we will be taking the alphabets in the small letters. उनको हम small letters में लेते हैं. Like tall plant is there, so double T. Alleles will be in the two forms, in the combination of two. So double T, that will be capital, and the small t will be as showing as the dwarf. So combination of maximum, like if we want to make a combination of these two, so we can make capital T, small t, capital T, double capital T, double small t. So these are the maximum genotypes which we want to form. इसको हम genotype बोलेंगे कि maximum characters कौन से show होते हैं, they will be known as genotype. And if we talk about the phenotype, phenotype will be only tall and dwarf. तो हम tall and dwarf के लिए लेंगे. इसको और represent करने के लिए I wanted to show one video that is genotype and phenotype. Just see it carefully and understand the term genotype and phenotype, because we will be using these terms in our chapter when we will be studying about the laws of heredity.
Types versus phenotypes. So when you have a trait that is a pair of alleles, such as big B, little b, or little b, we can refer to them in two different ways. The first is a genotype, which refers to the exact pairing of the alleles. For example, if we're dealing with eye color and there are two alleles, a big B for blue eyes and a little b for green eyes, then there are three possible genotypes: big B, little b, or little b, little b. Right, so these are the genotypes. These are the possible pairing of the alleles. The genotype isn't concerned with the expression of the trait, only the pairing of the alleles. Okay? The other way to refer to a trait is by the phenotype, which is its expression. So using our previous example of eye color, there are only two phenotypes: blue eyes or green eyes. Right? The phenotype isn't concerned with the pairing of the alleles. Right? The genotypes big B, and big B, little b both give the same phenotype, blue eyes. Okay, so the phenotype is just the expression.
Now in this you can see big B means capital B, capital B. This is the dominant character, the blue color eye will be present. And big B means this is the capital and small b. These two are known as the alleles, and alleles will be representing in the pairs only. We cannot represent it in a single alphabet like B, capital B or small b. So these will be represented in the pairing only, alleles. So if you see both the things, capital B and capital B, small b, in this if you see the color of the eye which will be represented in the offspring, that will be only blue eyes, because this blue color, this small b is the recessive character, and capital B is representing the blue eye, and it will dominate its character. So both the genotypes will represent one phenotype, that will be the blue eyes. Okay, so this is the difference between genotype and phenotype.
All right, so to recap, the genotype refers to the pair of alleles for a trait, in this case, the specific letters, and the phenotype refers to the expression of that trait, right? How it looks or how it functions, the expression. And that's it. So I know this can be a confusing concept, so hopefully that helps. And if you have any additional questions, please throw them in.
So these were the genotypes and phenotypes. One more thing I want to clear it with you. Some other traits, some other, this thing is there, what we will say, some terms will be there which we will be using in this chapter. They will be like homologous, heterologous chromosomes. Homologous means same, or hetero means different. So this we will be studying. And the alleles, I have already told that the alphabets we represent in the pairing, they are known as the alleles, which represent the trait of that character, that person, that thing. So that is known as the allele. So for further terms which we will be using in our class, I am sharing one video. Just listen carefully.
Let us now see what are homologous and heterologous chromosomes. So this is again something new. I mean, when we are talking about chromosomes, it is important to know about homologous and heterologous chromosomes. Now, homologous chromosomes, let us discuss first. A set of one maternal chromosome and one paternal chromosome that pair up with each other inside a cell. So what are these homologous chromosomes? Now, the word homo itself means something which is similar. So a set of one maternal chromosome, that means the chromosome from mother, and one paternal chromosome, that is the chromosome from father, that pair up each other inside a cell. So as I said, inside a cell, the chromosomes, and right now I'm talking of diploid cells, because only the diploid cells will have two sets of chromosomes, right? So inside the diploid cell, chromosomes will always exist in pairs. So the pair of chromosomes where one set is from the father, the other set is from the mother, and they are similar to each other. They are known as homologous chromosomes. So they are of same size and shape. They are same. Their form will remain the same. So such chromosomes are called homologous chromosomes. They bear corresponding genes governing the same traits. Now we know that when you
like homologous chromosomes we are talking about, that one set will be of maternal. You know that the chromosome represent in the X form, X shape. So one single strand will be from maternal chromosome, one single strand will be paternal chromosome, and they will be representing the same trait. Means if one chromosome is representing the eye color, so eye color from father side, eye color from mother side, it will be representing in one. This will be known as diploid chromosome. Okay, इसको diploid chromosomes बोलते हैं, and they will be bearing with the same traits.
Look at the structure of a chromosome. So on the chromosomes you have genes, right? And these genes actually control the different characters in our body. So when I talk about homologous chromosomes, they are somewhat like this. Let us suppose this is one chromosome, this is another chromosome, right? And here you have the genes located. So such regions, so these region of the two chromosomes are known as homologous regions, which code for the same gene. That means they both code for the same gene. Now you might ask that the same gene is present here also, but what are these two? These are the sister chromatids. I have already explained you, right? These are known as chromatids. This center part which joins the two chromatids is known as centromere. So the homologous chromosomes are two different chromosomes where same genes are present in the homologous region, right? So they have these homologous region basically consist of different version of the same gene, right? So let me take an example. Let us suppose if I talk about the eye color, right? So this is the paternal chromosome. Let us suppose this is the paternal chromosome and this is the maternal chromosome. So if I am talking about eye color, let us suppose that the father's eye color is blue and the mother's eye color is black. So in this case, if this gene corresponds to the trait of eye color, right? So for eye color, both of them will represent brown, both of these. So that means the sister chromatids are exact replica of each other. But these maternal chromosomes, they will represent blue. So these two will again be representing blue. But if you compare this and this is also representing eye color. This is also representing eye color. That means both are representing same gene, but different versions. This is representing black color. This is representing blue color. So they are representing different versions of the same gene. So now you understand what are homologous chromosomes. They are two sets of chromosomes which exist in pair, one contributed by father, one contributed by mother. And they both are of same shape and size, and they bear genes governing the same traits in the corresponding region. That means the gene governing eye color are present in the same region. Similarly, let us suppose the gene governing the skin color is present in the same region. Similarly, the gene governing the earlobe shape, that is also present around the same region. So these are known as homologous chromosomes. So now here in this picture also you can see the homologous chromosomes. So here these blue colored, here you can see it represents the eye color, this blue color represents the father's eye color, this black color represents the mother eye color. So they are known as homologous chromosomes. Similarly, if I talk about heterologous chromosomes, that means different. So they differ in shape, size, and function. Like in case of homologous chromosome, they were of same shape and size. But here they have different shapes, different sizes, and different functions as well. Because here the function was also similar. Everything was corresponding to eye color. But here that is not the case. So they do not belong to the same pair. So that means if we take one pair of this chromosome and another pair of some other chromosome, maybe one part is corresponding to eye color and the other part is corresponding to skin color. So those kind of chromosomes are known as heterologous chromosomes, right? So why I'm explaining this is because these terms homologous and heterologous will come as we go ahead and discuss about Mendel's experiments. So now we will know about a new concept called.
So in this way, you have to learn the difference between both of them, homologous and heterologous chromosomes. With one example also, like eye color, they have given, you can take the skin color or you can take the ear lobes, which are attached to our face. So now the next term, it is coming allele. Allele, like we have already discussed, it represents the alphabets in the form of the characters of that person, of that thing. Like if we are talking about tall, so alleles for tall representation, we will be taking 2T, that will be the capital alphabets. They will be representing tall plant. And if you want to represent the dwarf plant, that will be small t, double T. So they will be in the pairs. They will not be a single alphabet which will be representing the alleles.
allele. So what are allele? So now, I already told you the experiment which Mendel had performed. Now, how do we denote the traits of different organisms? Like, as I said, there is one tall plant, there is one short plant. So how do we denote the characteristics? Now, the traits are basically denoted with the help of letters. For example, in order to describe a tall plant, maybe I can denote it by a capital T. In order to denote a trait, that is a dwarf plant, so maybe I can denote it by a small t. So that is how we denote things, right? So now, allele is one member of a pair of genes that occupy a given position on a homologous chromosome. Because we saw that when you take the example of the homologous chromosome, so what do we see here? So in this homologous chromosome, this blue color and this dark blue color, they all represent the same gene, right? So, but they are present in pairs. This is one pair, this is one member of the pair, this is another member of the pair. So, allele is one member of a pair of genes that occupy a given position on a homologous chromosome. So, let us suppose if I denote, let me take an example this way. Let us suppose if this denotes the blue eye color, which is denoted by a small b. Let us suppose if this denotes the black eye color, which is denoted by a capital B. So when you combine together these two chromosomes, because they are existing in pairs, so what do you get? Small b, capital B. So what would be the eye color when taken together? It will be black, because black is the dominant trait, right? Now each of these pair, that means this small b and this capital B, they are separately known as an allele. So allele is one member of a pair of genes that occupy a given position on a homologous chromosome. Why they occupy a given position? Because they are going to correspond to the same trait, right? Because in homologous chromosome, if they occupy the corresponding positions, that itself means that they are going to correspond to the same trait. Now let us look at some examples. Let us suppose if we take this example of the dwarf plant. So how do we denote its allele? Now this dwarf plant, the plant in Mendel's experiment, we saw that.
So how we will be denoting this dwarf tree if we want to show it in a form of allele?
2 small t.
Small t.
And if a tall plant tree is there and we want to show in the form of the allele?
2 big
2 capital T.
Capital. Very nice.
Dwarf was the
So
recipient.
this, I think this is clear now, allele the term. So I hope it is clear with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
so okay. If we talk about next that we were talking about the traits. So traits we have discussed about the acquired traits and the inherited traits. Acquired traits. Anybody from you can answer about acquired traits? What does it mean?
Traits which we get
Acquired
from
traits.
our parents are known as
Known as
traits
what?
which, ma'am, the
Hmm?
traits which we get from our parents are known as inherited traits.
Hmm.
Ma'am, example, ma'am, hair color,
Hmm.
body color, etc.
Okay. And what is?
और मैम जो
हाँ बोलो बेटा. What is it?
मैम एक्वायर्ड ट्रेड्स होते हैं,
Hmm.
ट्रेड्स विच मैम जो हम अपनी जीवन काल में हमें जो जो मतलब जो जो चीजें हमें पसंद आती है और अच्छी लगती है,
अच्छी
जैसे
लगती
किसी
है.
को म्यूजिक पसंद है
Oh,
और वो
that
उसकी
is our.
हॉबी बन गई है.
Okay. So now if I talk about acquired traits and inherited traits, inherit means inherit करना, means अपने parents से अपने अंदर लेना. So these traits are known as inherited traits, which means your eye color, your skin color, your hair texture, or your height. So these characters are known as, these traits are known as the inherited traits. Acquired traits means which we acquire within our lifetime, life period, as a type of a hobby, or as we inherit in our interest, and we are developing it as like a professional. Like if I am a good swimmer, so I am acquiring within my lifetime. I have not learned from my parents, or the genes or the traits have come from my parents into me. I have acquired them throughout my life. So if I am a good cricketer, so cricketer जो हूँ मैं, वो cricket मैंने acquire किया है अपनी लाइफ टाइम में, that is not the inherited. ठीक है, तो उसको और क्लियर करने के लिए one more video I will be showing acquired traits and inherited traits. Just have a look on this.
Imagine you take a batsman with amazing batting skills, like maybe Dhoni or Tendulkar. Or let's say you take a singer who has a great voice. Or maybe you take this guy. You know who this guy is, right? So what's my question, you know? Do you think they will be able to pass on their amazing skills to their kids? I mean, think about it. For example, do you think Dhoni or Tendulkar might be able to pass on their amazing batting skills to their kids so that they would be maybe born batsmen? Or, you know, this singer might be able to pass on her amazing voice skill to her kid? Or maybe this guy, you know who this guy is, maybe he's able to pass on his amazing problem-solving skills to his kid. Do you think they can gain from their parents these skills? I don't know about you, but I feel, yeah. I mean, why not? Because we inherit so many things from our parents. We inherit their looks. We inherit sometimes their diseases. I'm going bald, and I'm guessing I also inherit that from my parents. So, yeah, maybe we can also inherit these amazing qualities as well. Why not? But keeping my feelings aside, what does science have to say about this? Well, let's find out. I think to answer this question, we need to look at what exactly gets passed on from the parents to kids, because of which they inherit all that stuff. What exactly passes on that contains information of how to build you? My DNA contains instructions of how to build me. And we get this DNA directly from our parents. And so this means the big question is, do any of these skills, like the batting skills or the thinking skills or maybe the singing skills, do they cause changes in their DNA? That's the big question that we want to answer. Because if they do, then those changes in the DNA can be passed along to us, and then we can inherit those amazing abilities. If they cannot change the DNA, then we will not be able to inherit those abilities. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think they can, the skills can change their DNA? I'm going to tell you the answer right now itself. No, they cannot. Why not, you ask? Well, let's see. Here is a cell. Okay, this is what we are made of. Our body is made of cells. So the DNA is resting inside the nucleus. Okay, that's where the DNA lies. Now let's see what happens when you practice batting skills. When you keep batting for years and years, you know what changes it causes to your body? It might change, you get better at it. You get a better hand-to-eye coordination. So that means your neuromuscular connection becomes stronger. You might get more muscles out of it because you are playing a lot. All those changes are happening outside of the nucleus. That's right. You might gain more mitochondria. Your cytoplasm might become denser. You might have more proteins. But all these changes are happening outside of the nucleus. So none of that is going to change your DNA. The same thing over here as well. For example, when you keep singing for a long time, your voice gets better. Again, the changes are happening outside the nucleus. Okay, whatever changes are happening to your voice is happening outside the nucleus. Again, no changes in the DNA. And same thing over here. If you start thinking more and you start gaining more knowledge, again, that basically changes the neural structure in the brain, and it turns out to be a little complicated. But again, most importantly, no changes in the DNA whatsoever. This means if the knowledge that you have gained by years and years of practice cannot change the DNA, you cannot pass along that knowledge to your kids. So the kids will not be able to inherit any of the amazing abilities from their parents. Sounds disappointing, right? But it did not be. It did not be disappointing. And before I talk more, let me just write down what we just spoke. So let me go to a different page. Let's just write down. So we said the traits or the knowledge that you acquire over your lifetime, like your batting skills or maybe your thinking ability. In general, these together are called acquired traits. Okay? Acquired traits. Makes sense, right? Because you're acquiring them. You didn't inherit them from your father or mother, but you're acquiring them in your lifetime through practice. Okay? So acquired traits are basically the traits that you gained over lifetime. Over lifetime. And what we learned about these acquired traits, we saw that they cause no change. Let me write that down over here. They cause absolutely no change in the DNA. No change in the DNA. And to be very specific, what I mean is no change in the DNA of germ cells. Germ cells. Germ cells are basically the sperm cells and the egg cells which are involved in reproduction. And as you might know, it's the sperm that fertilizes the egg and eventually grows into a baby, right? So that's why I'm talking about these germ cells, the sperm and the egg. It causes no changes in the DNA of these cells. Of course, it causes no changes in the DNA of any cell, okay? But more importantly, it does not cause changes in the DNA of the germ cells. And that's the reason why this cannot be inherited. So, not inherited. Not inherited. And let's also write down what changes they cause in your body. They do cause changes, but what changes do they cause? They cause changes in your non-germ cells, right? They cause changes in your non-germ cells, which are called somatic cells. Basically, the muscle cells or the vocal.
So, somatic cells, what does somatic word stands for?
Ma'am, inside the cell.
Inside our body means, somatic means जो हमारे life cells हैं, जो हमारी body को बनाते हैं cells, these cells are known as the somatic cells. ठीक है? तो
They are also known as inherited cells.
हाँ, तो ये
Traits.
हमारे जो सेल्स हैं इसमें कुछ चेंज नहीं होता है. तो अब आपको ये समझ आ गया कि एक्वायर्ड ट्रेट्स मतलब जो हम अपने पूरे लाइफ टाइम में गेन करते हैं, that is known as the acquired traits, and they are not passed on from one generation to another generation, but inherited traits are the traits which are passed from parents to the offspring. So they are the inherited traits. Okay, I hope this is also clear with you. सबको क्लियर हुआ?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So, अब now next terminology which we were seeing, like I have told, how many pairs are present there in one human being?
Ma'am,
46.
46.
Total
23.
46.
And how many, if we talk about the pairs, how many pairs are present there in the?
No, 23.
23.
Okay, so 23 pairs are there. Now, if we talk about, then 22 pairs are the autosomes and one pair is sex chromosome.
Sex chromosome.
That we have already discussed. So, autosomes characters, like you can see, autosomes means they are the chromosomes other than the sex organs exist in pair, each of which has same form. Same form means if one chromosome is representing eye color, then the other will be representing the mother's eye color and one will be father's eye color. These control somatic traits. Somatic means related to our body. हमारी body का characters को define करते हैं autosomes. All autosomes. In humans, 22 pairs of autosomes exist. So 22 pairs of autosomes are present in one human being, whether it is father or whether it is mother. And sex chromosome, which determine the sex of the child, of the offsprings. In human, one pair of sex chromosome exists. If we tell about the father chromosome, which represent a sex chromosome, that we will be representing as XY. And if mother's chromosome, sex chromosome, we want to represent, it is XX. So these are the alleles. We are representing the sex chromosome. Allele of the father of representing chromosome is XY and mother allele is XX. Okay. So next term which we will be
Sex
coming.
chromosomes. Let us now talk about the diploid cells and
Diploid and haploid cells also, two more terms which are there
Haploid
we
cells.
will be using in our class in our further lesson. So please have a look on this also. Diploid means double, haploid means single.
So diploid cell, a cell with two complete sets of chromosomes. As I said, so in diploid cells, the chromosomes will always exist in pairs. So here you can see. So how is this pair formed? One set is given by the father, the other set is given by the mother. So that is how these two sets actually are formed. Whereas haploid cell is a cell with a single set of chromosomes. So here you have just one set. So examples of haploid cells would be the sperm cells and the egg cells, that is the gametes. Gametes would be the best example because in case of gametes, each of these gametes contain only one set of chromosomes. They do not exist in pairs, right? But all other cells of the body, that is all the somatic cells, are examples of diploid cells. So all other cells of the body are diploid cells. So diploid cells will have two sets of chromosomes, and that is why chromosomes exist in pairs. One set from father, one set from mother. In haploid cells, they will have either the father set or the mother set. For example, the sperms contain the father set of chromosomes, the egg cell contains the mother set of chromosomes. Thank you.
So this is also clear, haploid cell and the diploid cells. Haploid cells means single cell, that is the sex chromosome, yeah, sex cells or gametes we will be telling, and diploid cells, which are the somatic cells, which are known as the autosomes also, in which both the strands will be there, and that is why it is known as the diploid cells. I hope this much of the part of this heredity chapter is clear to you. Is this
Yes,
clear?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, like I have already
Yes,
told
ma'am.
that who is known as the father? Okay. Who is known as the father of genetics?
John Gregor Mendel.
Gregor John Mendel. His name is Gregor John Mendel. Very nice. So Gregor John Mendel is the person who is known as the father of genetics. Do you know who was he? Like I have told you his story also. Who was he and how he became the scientist and how he discovered the
मैम मैं बताऊं?
laws of heredity. Anybody else?
मैम
एक minute, Dhruv, just wait. I want to ask from anybody. Like I have told you the story also, how he became the scientist. Any one of you? Okay, Dhruv, you tell.
मैम उसने
हाँ बोलो बोलो दीपक.
मैम उसने पीस के ऊपर स्टडी करी थी और ये बताया था कि हर जनरेशन के बाद उन पी में कुछ डिफरेंट थी, जैसे कि कुछ शॉर्ट थे तो कुछ लॉन्ग रूट्स थी उनकी, किसी का कलर अलग था, ऐसे ही बताया था मैम.
Very nice. This is the work you are telling. I wanted to ask the history of how he became the scientist and how he became the father of genetics. What was the change in his life, which we have already discussed about the life of Gregor John Mendel? Anybody?
मैम मैं बताऊं?
बोलो इशिका बोलो. एक just a minute, Dhruv, I will give you chance also. इशिका बताओ.
मैम जॉन मेंडल्स मैम एक चर्च में मैम फादर थे. उन्होंने मैम पीस का उनके सामने एक ग्राउंड था, उसमें पीस के फ्लावर्स लगे हुए थे, ट्रीज लगे हुए थे छोटे. तो उन्होंने देखा कि कोई छोटा है कोई बड़ा है, किसी के साथ पिंक है पर्पल है, कोई बड़ा है कोई छोटा है, और बहुत सारी चीजें, किसी की पीस अच्छी है किसी की थोड़ी अजीब सी है. तो मैम उन्होंने पीस पे स्टडी करी और उनके बारे में बताया कि कैसे कैसे.
Very nice, very nice. Yes, Dhruv, what you want to tell, beta?
मैम ग्रेगर जॉन मेंडल जब छोटे थे तो मैम उनको डॉक्टर या साइंटिस्ट बनना था, पर मैम वो एग्जाम में फेल हो गए थे. तो इसके कारण मैम वो एक चर्च के अंदर मैम बॉब बन गए थे. और फिर मैम उसके बाद उसी चर्च के मैम बगल में एक गार्डन था. उस गार्डन में मैम पी का प्लांटेशन होता था. तो मैम वो वहां पर जाते थे हमेशा और देखते थे. तो मैम उन्होंने वहां पर मैम देखते थे कि कुछ पौधे छोटे हैं कुछ बड़े हैं, तो उन्होंने सोचा कि उस पर स्टडी करी जाए. तो मैम तब मैम उन्होंने वो हमेशा प्योर प्लांट लेते थे. या तो बड़े लेते थे या तो छोटे लेते थे. तो मैम उन्होंने उसका क्रॉस करवाया, और जो उसकी मैम पहली जनरेशन आई मैम उसको दोबारा मैम उसी से करवाया क्रॉस, तो मैम जो उसकी F2 जनरेशन आ गई। तो मैम यही किया था उन्होंने, और वो फिर फादर ऑफ जेनेटिक्स कहलाने लगे।
Okay, very nice. So he wanted to become doctor and scientist, as Dhruv has told us, but he was not get success in his studies. So he became the priest or pop of that church, and he was looking after that church. But later on, what happened? He used to go in the garden of the church where he have seen so many different color of plants and different type of plants. There he observed the pea plants. जब उन्होंने पी प्लांट्स को ऑब्जर्व किया तो उन्होंने ये देखा कि पी प्लांट्स जो है वो अलग अलग करेक्टर्स शो कर रहा है, अलग अलग ट्रेट्स आर देयर. So he observed daily those pea plants and he started study on these pea plants. This is how he have become the scientist, and he later on discovered the law of heredity, and this is how he became the scientist, and he was the popular, and he was known as the father of genetics. ठीक है, तो ये उन्होंने थे. And one more question comes, it is very important question, in which it is asked that why the Gregor John Mendel selected the pea plant for his experiments. This also we have discussed in earlier class. हाँ बोलो कृति.
मैं बताऊं?
मैम
कृति बताएगी. हाँ कृति थोड़ा speak loudly बेटा कृति.
Okay, ma'am. The flowers of the pea plant are bisexual and easy to obtain pure breed plant through self-fertilization or pollination. The generation time of pea plant is very less, and they have excellent disease resistance and have an optimal rate of survival.
Very
They
nice.
had easily observed traits. They were of 7 of them.
Very nice. So there were different, very nice Kriti, a good answer.
And
so and okay, so there were seven.
And easy to grow in the garden.
Okay, easy to grow in garden and very cheap also. Like इतने ज़्यादा पैसे खर्च नहीं करने पड़ते थे उनको pea plant, and they were very cheap. तो इसमें 7 things were there which came into the mind of Gregor John Mendel. सबसे पहले तो large variety was present there in these pea plants. मतलब their color, their size, their shape. तो these were the seeds का shape हो गया, seeds का color हो गया. So different variety of the things he has seen in the pea plant. Moreover, जो reproduction होता था pea plants में वो बहुत quick होता था, बहुत जल्दी होता था और results बहुत जल्दी आ जाते थे. तो वो एक साल में बहुत सारे experiments कर सकते थे, इसलिए उन्होंने pea plant को choose किया. और pea plant was easily available, बहुत आसानी से मिल जाता था उनको, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती थी. और एक चीज मैंने बताया कि वो सस्ता बहुत था, तो ज्यादा पैसे भी नहीं लगते थे, इसलिए उन्होंने इस पी प्लांट को अपनी एक्सपेरिमेंट के लिए चूज किया. ठीक है, सो दिस वाज द थिंग. नाउ इन आवर नेक्स्ट क्लास वी विल बी टेकिंग द 3 लॉज ऑफ मेंडल व्हिच ही डिस्कवर्ड on basis of his experiments, that we will be continuing in the next class. And children, I will be sharing one Google form in which we have discussed today's some terms that will be represented there in that Google form. Submit it today itself, and be particular in your homework assignments. So hope I will see you in next class. I will be taking some quiz type of questions from this part of the class which we have covered today, and in next class we will be completing all the 3 laws of Mendel, and then the lesson will be finished off because evolution part of this chapter has been already deleted for this year. Okay, any question, any queries for this part which we have learned today, you can ask freely, there is no problem. Otherwise you can quit the class. The class is over now. Your next class is going to start within the 10 minutes. So thank you children, have a nice day.
Bye ma'am.
Bye beta.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, and study hard. Quit the class fast beta.